عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
أول سؤال هو why did you pick this major?
This go back long time ago. So it was, the oil major is the main GDP in this country. So it's, we thought that if we graduate in this major, we will serve the country much better.
The second question is, what do you hope to achieve in your upcoming years through management?
Our strategy in the next 5 years to expand in our retail station, because as you see now, our retail station getting very crowded every day. So we are planning to build 50 stations in the next 5 years. Second thing is we are expanding in our facility. We are expanding in our refinery. So we were responsible to supply the Dubai airport and Al airport all the jet fuel. Supplying 50% of the jet fuel to the Dubai.
Are there any international sales between ENOC and other countries, and how does it affect the GDP of UAE?
We depend on about 50% or more than 50% in our international sale. So most of our refined product, which is produced by our refinery and our chemical plants here, we sell it out in the international. So we have a major office in Singapore who take care of most of our trading of our refined product. We also have 6 international terminals in the different countries, in Singapore, and Korea, Morocco, and Saudi Arabia.
How is ENOC different than the other companies in the oil and gas industry?
I would say we are different because we belong to the government. We are not only a private company, which is belong to different customers or different share. We belong to the government, so we are always aligned our strategy, our requirement with the government.
Okay, the last question is, how do you see the company changing in the upcoming 10 years?
So we are trying to make sure that our product is environmentally friendly. So we have introduced the diesel with the 10 ppm, which has less environmental affection.
Good morning, Mr. Abdullah Yusuf Al-Ali, the CEO of the Public Transport Agency at RTA. We are Sultan Badr Al-Bahri and Amar Al-Mullah from Greenwood International School, and we want to conduct this interview for the accounting and business project.
Good morning for both of you, and thank you for inviting me.
So can you give us a brief introduction about RTA?
RTA is Road and Transport Authority, which was established in 2005. The main reason for establishing RTA is to solve 2 main issues in Dubai. One of these issues is the congestions in the road, and the other issue was the safety. So RTA, when established, we put a lot of projects to solve these two problems. And RTA consists of 5 main agencies and 3 supporting sectors. The agencies are the Public Transport Agency, where I came from, and the Licensing Agency, who are responsible of licensing the vehicles and the drivers. And we have the Traffic and Roads Agency, which is responsible of building the roads and maintaining the roads. Plus we have the Taxi Agency, and we have also, as I said, 3 supporting sectors, which are the admin and the technical and the strategic support sector.
So now we'll start with the questions.
Please.
The first question is, in the upcoming years, petroleum will decrease and then will be used to its very last droplet. So how you will cope with this issue?
Yeah, actually, this is a fact, and any smart government will start to think about alternatives of power that they need to operate their different sectors. Here in Dubai, there was an announcement from DEWA that they are building now one of the biggest solar farm that will provide electricity for all the services. Plus, also there was an announcement in Abu Dhabi that they have the nuclear source, so they are investing in nuclear source of energy. So different type of energies. If we came to PTA, we already think about using the electrical bus. We provide one already, and it is under test right now. It's running in Dubai roads. We are thinking of hybrid buses where it's not fully based on fuel, so it's only half fuel and half battery. And taxi sector, we already announced that by 2020, 50% of the vehicles will be hybrid vehicles. So there are many of initiatives that we are working on to get rid of the petroleum sources.
Are there any upgrades that you will improve in the vehicles or vessels?
Yeah, as I mentioned just now, we are working on hybrid vehicles. So almost, I guess maybe 20% of the fleets already changed from normal petrol vehicles to hybrid. And also, as I mentioned, we are testing the electrical bus. Plus, we are studying now hybrid buses. One more thing I would like to mention that already His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, I guess 2 weeks back, he announced that he wants 25% of the transportation in Dubai by 2030 will be by autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles, we mean that vehicles without driver, and usually these vehicles will be electric buses. It will not depend on fuel. So really we are working on this direction, especially in the bus sector. You might see very soon buses similar to the metro. We have the metro in Dubai now. It's driverless and fully electric movement without any fuel, and hopefully we'll transfer the bus sector to this source as well.
I heard that you have a training center. Can you please describe how a normal day in the training center goes?
In the training center, we train all the drivers in Dubai, the buses drivers, the taxi drivers, the limousine drivers. All of these drivers will come and they take at least in the beginning 3 months of training. They need to understand the routes that they are going on. They need to understand all the safety aspects of driving. They need to understand how to deal with the customer. So these main 3 elements we are concentrating on in the training. So we minimize the complaints from the customer who are using public transport modes in Dubai.
What are the services that you bestow on the foreigners that works for you?
We don't have actually special services foreigners or for expats. No, all the services we provide will be for all employees, either the local or the expat. So we don't have special services. Yeah, we have a lot of services, but all of our services is for all employees.
What makes your organization superior to the other similar organizations that compete against you?
We are unique in different sectors or different areas. First of all, we are the first organization maybe in the country where we bring all mode of transport and we put it in one authority. So in different countries, maybe you see the bus sector is different than the roads, different than the licensing. But here, no, anything related to transportation, so you'll find it only in one sector. This gives us the opportunity to improve our work a lot because, we can talk to each other, all types of buses, taxis, metro, roads, licensing. We talk to each other, it's easy. The communication become much easier. That's why I believe we success in a lot of our projects. If you talk about public transport and what is about our competitor, actually we don't have competitor. In buses, we are the only agency who's running the public bus in Dubai. In taxi sector, maybe we have one company, which is Dubai Taxi, belong to RTA plus other 5 companies. They are all working together. We try to encourage the private sector to improve their services. That's why we have one of the companies belong to us, and we're trying to put the best benchmark for other companies. So they learn from Dubai Taxi, which is actually the opposite. Usually, the government goes to the private sector to learn from them, but here actually it is the opposite. But all of the companies, they're doing well.
What kind of education is required to this work?
RTA is a very big organization, so most of the qualifications are needed in RTA, especially engineers and different types of engineers, road engineers, civil engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, even the different type of administration, finance, and accountant. All of these qualifications are important in RTA.
It is a multinational company, or and how it's funded?
We cannot call it multinational companies. RTA is a government entity or government authority, and it is funded mainly by the government of Dubai. So almost, and thanks God, we done our break even, I guess, last year. So our income is equal our cost, so we don't depend a lot now on the government. We used to depend on the government a lot. They fund our projects, but now, thanks God, we are doing the break even. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be interviewing the CEO of the Algarhoods Hospital. Okay, good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Can you please introduce about yourself?
I'm Dr. Nabil Munir. Originally, I'm the pediatric orthopedic surgeon, and I shifted to the management field since about 2 years. I work with many international organizations between US, Poland, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and finally here since about 15 years.
Doctor, what's the difference between a public governmental hospital and a private hospital?
Regarding to the healthcare service and the treatment procedures and the policies and management plan and everything related to the medical aspect, it should be the same, no difference. But maybe the workload in the governmental hospital is a little bit more than the private, because the governmental hospital, they are accepting the road traffic accidents, they are accepting some top emergency cases and like that. And in addition to the load, because of they are providing some preventive medicine and prophylactic medicine services like the vaccination, the national health programs and such an issues, just make the load more in the governmental sector. But as for this patient care, the management plans, the treatment, it should be the same.
Okay, doctor, how can this hospital be different from others in this specific field?
To position yourself as a private sector hospital or a healthcare provider, you have to satisfy all the partners dealing with you, starting from the patient, the relatives of the patient, which are more important in reputation wise, and satisfy your employees. In addition, here in the room, we are implementing all the most recent procedure with regarding to technical procedures or regarding to diagnostic machines. And we are the only hospital who has open and closed MRI. We have both. We have the most advanced CT scan in the market. We are doing most of the surgical operations in the laparoscopic way, so we are not damaging a lot of tissues and we are not hurting the patient a lot. In addition to that, we are twice accredited by DCI.
Okay, doctor, what do you do to develop and retain your employees?
To retain your employees, to build up some sort of loyalty. But when you are bringing in new staff, you start to educate and to start to train, and you are investing a lot of time and money. So you have to do your best to keep them. Number one, you have to keep training them and educating them so they will feel that in addition to their work, there is an added value to come to them. Number two, you have to satisfy their needs. Because no one is working and will have his own needs or his own daily requirement and monthly requirement and family requirement. So you have to satisfy them from this. And every now and then you have to put them in the evaluation scans. Then the people are doing well and they're doing with a high performance rate, and they have to be improved. Then you will repeat the cycle: train, satisfy, educate, evaluate, and improve. That is the only way you can keep it. Because it's simply, it's like a football team, and you have your professional players. If you didn't do that with them, they will change to another club. So,
where do you see yourself as a hospital in the next years?
We have our own strategy for expansion, and we already started some unique projects. That one of them that we established the FIFA International Center of Excellence for Sports Injuries. That's the first one in the area, and it's a number 2 worldwide. There is about more than 20 centers like that over the world, but that's the second one to be collaboration between one of the football clubs and one of the hospitals, and the first one worldwide was first year. So that's one of the great achievements we did within the last period. In addition, now we have an extension with another hospital. I'm not mentioning how where it is. In addition to 7 medical centers.
What are some new technology methods or systems you have in this particular hospital?
As I told you, we are applying all the new issues I cannot mention, but we are focusing mainly on the latest technologies within the diagnostic units and the intervention units and the laparoscopic sections. We are very advanced.
Thank you, Doctor.
Most welcome.
So what got you interested in this industry?
Right, so after college, after doing my graduation of commerce, I was wondering what the various options that I had. And at a random sales splits that I was doing, somebody walked up to me and said that, I think you're good at sales.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, so sales is probably the skill that I had. Now what industry do I start selling? And it so happened that I was referred to by my father's friend to go and work as a consultant for a big travel management company. And I said, yeah, why not? Because travel sounded fun, travel sounded at that time being able to visit various places, various countries and meet a lot of people. So it's as simple as that. So travel as the profession with all this excitement, skill being sales.
Yeah.
So I said, let's marry the two, and that brought me into travel, and then from there.
So do you think that the aircraft will develop in the future, and how do you think that the aircraft will develop?
Well, if you see the last 20 years, there's been a huge change in the way the aircrafts function. So right from the comfort of a seat to the distance that they can fly, to the various facilities that we can offer on board. So I think the last 20 years, if you were to take that as a benchmark, the industry has come a long way. Now, the next 20 years, where do we go? Is an interesting question. I think that there will be more focus on planes which are more energy efficient, which save on fuel, which are more environment friendly. I believe that they might be faster. They will be definitely more efficient on fuel. And what else? We've got free Wi-Fi, free TV, free showers. There's a bar on board. So I don't know. I mean, the list is endless. But I think there is at some point of time innovation and the need for what will merge at something which maybe we can't go beyond. But I believe that if you were to summarize this in one sentence, I think there'll be more energy efficient, more environment friendly planes, and the ability to reach from point A to point B faster.
Okay. So what are the pros and cons of being involved in aviation?
Well, I don't see any cons to start with. Pros, it's a very exciting industry. We meet a lot of people, we can travel a lot. The benefits are good, and it's a very dynamic industry. It's constantly changing because the needs of the customer keep on changing. Right? It's a very evolving industry. But I think the cons is that there's a lot of pressure to keep our cost low, a lot of intense competition, and I think the only con for me personally is that it brings a lot of stress.
So what advice would you give someone who is thinking about joining this industry?
Well, I think join, because this industry's got a lot of potential. There's a lot of on the personal side, I would say that for all budding entrepreneurs or students like you or children like you who are wanting to go for career, this is a fantastic industry because no industry gives you the exposure in terms of being able to interact with so many people, so many cultures, so many regions, so many lifestyles. Because we operate to various countries, and each country has got its own norms. So from that point of view, it's extremely educative, extremely informative, and more importantly, it sort of tempers your attitude. You become more global because you tend to appreciate various cultures, traditions, and customs. Other than that, there's a lot of analysis which goes behind, a lot of intelligence that goes behind in what we do and how we position ourselves. There's a lot of development, a lot of interesting enhancements on the digital side that we're doing in terms of being able to attract customers, in terms of reaching and connecting customers to their requirements, in terms of stimulating customers.
Yeah.
So it's a whole new game. So it's a very, very exciting industry to be in, and I think if we could attract more analytical minds, more creative minds, I think fantastic industry to be in.
Okay.
Okay, actually, I finished in high school. I did not study in college. First time when I joined this company, they gave me training in the receiving area, how we can receive the goods by some device. We call it PDT. That's showing the quantity, how many we are receiving, and the type of the goods, and how can I return the goods to the supplier. It's damaged by PDT also, I counted, and there is some description in the device, and I return to the supplier. So the major thing is how to receive the goods from supplier. Second step, we start in the showroom, how we can arrange the shelves and how we can categorize the products, like dairy with dairy, tea with the tea, the honey section, and canned food section, rice section. Should be categorized, how we can display for the shelves. We start how to arrange it, how we keep the price. For like dairy, we have dependence to the Saudi Arabia, like Al-Marai, chocolates coming from Europe. Actually, it's in food section, mostly oil and spices. First thing is display, how you display the items. Organize, this is attract the customer to the goods. Second thing, promotion. And the third thing is the price. The hard things like canned food, keep it the first. The last thing you have to buy here from frozen. When you are buying first frozen chicken, when you rounding for 1 hour,
It's gonna melt.
mostly the customer are doing like that. So you have to organize also your trolley. The temperature is very important.
For me, much better is in coming the shop. And online you cannot guarantee the warranty of the item.
ان انا اشتري حاجه اونلاين بتبقى اسهل، بس بيبقى في حاجات ناقصه لو انا ما عنديش يعني خلفيه او خبره عن القطعه اللي انا هشتريها او اللي انا عايزها. دي بيسهلها عليا لو انا بشتري من المكان ذات نفسه، بيبقى السيلز مان هو بيعرفني بالمنتج، بيعرفني ايه التفاصيل بتاعته. لو انا عارف كل التفاصيل عنها بيبقى سهل جدا ان انا اشتريها اونلاين، وده بيوفر عليا وقت طبعا، مجهود وكل حاجه.
So today we're interviewing George Jacob from Movie Media, and And to start off with this interview, we're going to ask him some questions. And so can you give us a brief introduction about your company, Movie Media?
Movie Media is a full-service video production company. That means we do everything in videos, right from script to the screen stage and everything in between. That is what we do, and everything is video. And we started in 1994 in Dubai. Well, I'm a graduate of cinema. I graduated in 72. That's about, calculate how many years it is, okay? It's about 40 years in cinema.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a film man. Cinema versus my background.
So the second question is, Movie Media is an aerial photography company. How did you get this idea incorporating of using drones in your work?
Movie Media is not an aerial photography company. Movie Media is a company that makes various kinds of productions. Aerial photography is just one part of what we use to make a film. So it could be drones, it could be helicopters, it could be ladders, it could be high lifts, it could be cranes, it could be anything. It's just one component. Yes, we use drones.
Okay. So what challenges did you face?
When you like to do something, everything that comes across your way is not a challenge, it's an opportunity. Now, every different film, every different situation has different demands to tell the story properly. At that moment, the challenge comes when you're not prepared for it.
Like we were.
Yeah, it happens. When you're not prepared for it, then how do you innovate? How do you do this? How do you do that? But otherwise, it's an opportunity always.
So we move on to the fourth question, which is, what is your opinion about telecommunication and media nowadays?
Media has advanced so much today that it has altered everybody's perception of life. It's not like before. It has become so fast, technology has advanced. Now when you talk about telecommunication, I think that's what you mean. That the advance, the progress of technology, that has made everything different. It's so fast today, and distributing the story has also become different. Earlier you had to, if you make a film, you have to go to a theater to see it.
Yeah.
Now it's instant, isn't it? You can, whatever we are doing right now, in the next minute you can show it, or even right now you can show it.
Yeah.
If you have live streaming.
Yeah.
So, telecommunications have changed the way we perceive life today.
Telecommunication media studies focuses on media industries like technology and communication systems. What are the most important findings of this major?
I studied cinema. We did not, that was mass communication at that time. Today it has changed. In telecommunications or media studies, because the way the media affects society, changes the society itself. An example is today you have Twitter, Facebook, social media. It has changed. Everybody works with this now, right?
Yeah.
You will never leave home without this. This is transmitting, this is a media. So it has changed the way people live. It has changed the culture of people. Communication has changed.
So thank you for giving us your time, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure.